Hey, what's up, you guys? So, thank you for joining RN and myself here on Smack Draws the Rewind. We're going to be delivering the top 10 things that Adam Copeland, Edge, formerly known as Edge, should do in AEW.
Okay, so that sounds fire.
Yeah. But I've always said that Edge has done a lot of really cool things in WWE. That his career is probably one of the most fascinating careers just because of all the intriguing things that he's either done or been a part of in his tenure with WWE. And now that he's in AEW, there's the potential of a whole bunch of new things that he might be able to take part in and accomplish that are all also going to be very cool. So RN and myself are here to let you know what those top 10 things are. But before we do that, if you guys ever want to catch this show shot live, we do it Tuesdays on twitch.tv/SmackRaw around 9:30ish p.m. Eastern time. The YouTube videos usually go up the day afterwards. And the audio version of the podcast, which combines a lot of these rewind episodes together, is on all the audio versions. So we're your hosts. My name is Kyle Tyson.
I am the brains and beauty of the Smack Raw podcast, RN.
I got to get the brains title back at some point, man. I got to get that title back.
2024.
We'll get Will. Have to get Will to let us go do some more trivia. Him and Allison. But yeah. So Edge debuted at AEW's Wrestledream. He's got, I think, for the most part, most fans are very happy to see the guy there. He did come out to stop Christian from committing murder on Sting, and looks like very well his first feud is going to be with the former tag team partner in AEW. RN, really quick before we get to the top 10, how you feeling about Edge pursuing what appears to be the twilight years of his career now in AEW?
I'm not mad at it. We're gonna get a lot of dope ass matches. I mean, we know Edge can still go, so yeah. I was excited for it, and I was glad that they kept a fucking secret. I mean, besides them making this match the fucking main event, but they actually kept their mouths fucking shut and gave us a surprise. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, man. I'm excited too, and once again, it goes back to because Edge he's more than a dream match guy. You know, when Bryan Danielson came over, it was just oh man, the biggest things was to think about all the matches he would take part in. Now, granted, there's more to Bryan Danielson than just his in-ring capabilities, but I think Edge is just more well known for how versatile he is. He's been in great comedy acts. He's been in factions. He's had a live sex celebration. The guy does.
He started the #1 faction of wrestling going on right now.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to touch on that. Don't worry on the list. So that's I think the exciting aspect of Edge is not so much, not to say there aren't really cool matches that we can have, but just Edge can get involved in a lot of neat things. So let's go ahead and kick off the list. Starting up, I don't know if this mutes it, by the way. So it either is a moment of silence or you can hear a shout out. Number 10. 10. Yeah, I think you guys hear that. I don't know. Anyways, number 10, feud with Christian. Let's just get this out of the way.
I'm not mad at this. I'm glad they're getting it out the way, so we don't have to keep asking about it and questioning it. When's it going to happen? Blah, 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 blah. I'm glad out the gate they're doing it.
Yeah, and to be fair, out of all the cool things that Edge has done, his feuds with Christian, although are fun, and kind of the lesser intriguing things, in my opinion.
He'll get a championship out of it.
Yeah. He probably will get a belt out of it. I didn't even think about that. Christian's the current TNT champion. Yeah. So yeah, we'll get the feud out of this. They'll be able to touch on they're being on opposite ends of the heel face dynamic. Christian's doing honestly some of the best work he's done in years with the whole dead
Made
dad
me buy a turtleneck
shtick. Are you serious?
Oh God.
Oh man, did you cut the sleeves off? Did you cut the sleeves?
I didn't get a chance to, but I will.
Cut the sleeves off that turtleneck. Do a show with it, RN. Oh man. Yeah, man. So yeah, let's get this feud out of the way with Christian. It's sure to be a lot of fun. But yeah, that's our number 10. Number 9. Is it Reunite with Christian. Yes, let's get Edge and Christian back together. This was the thing that was teased in WWE, and we didn't get. Who can forget that emotional moment when Edge and Christian reunited in the Royal Rumble, both men welling up with tears? As fans who've been watching wrestling for like over 20 years now, we felt that genuine emotion. We wanted to see them together, and then WWE promptly did nothing with it. It's absolutely dick all.
This would have been my number one thing to get done, and then have him turn on Christian instead of the other way around and keep it going that way.
Yeah.
So when we go from them being a tag team to right into the feud. But, I mean, yeah, these are the top two things we need to get out the way fast so people stop talking about it and we can just get over it.
Yeah, man. And the potential for the comedy shtick. These guys, the thing that we missed it's with Edge and Christian is their insane amount of on-screen chemistry they got. Yeah. You watch, like, WWE Network original shows were very hit and miss back in the day, but probably one of the best things they ever produced was the Edge and Christian show, the show that totally reeks of awesomeness. The guys made fantastic heels together. They were great in the Brood. They came up with the concertos. Like, they've done just everything that they've done is typically gold, and they make it look effortless to be entertaining.
That's from being lifelong friends and not just people that they threw together in a tag team. Like, they were already friends before they got here. So
yeah. So Reunite Edge and Christian together. I don't know what nickname, like tag team name you'll give them, but yeah, let's definitely get that done. It would be awesome. Let's see. Number 8. Dream matches galore. So just because Edge does a lot of cool things, doesn't mean there isn't a lot of guys that we'd love to see him mix it up with in the ring in singles matches. RN, I think you created a list of guys that you said that you thought would be really cool. This is kind of what I'm pulling from. Should have prepped you beforehand.
Where was Okay, my first one is Swerve. Next one is Daniel Bryan, Omega.
Hell yeah. Oh, dude, wait.
Touch
on Bryan. Last time those guys were together, they were fighting over that number 1 spot to face Roman Reigns, and then he stacked
about that.
Then he stacked him at WrestleMania.
Oh,
man, that's dude. I
want that one even more now because I forgot about that.
I want to see them in the ring and then have Max Caster from the Acclaim do a rap and mention it. But go on.
Ospreay. Mm-hmm. Hangman, believe it or not, because I think to me Hangman is the most Edge comparison to me. Like, if anybody you wanted to compare anybody to Edge, like,
yeah,
I think it's Hangman because he's got that same thing, like where he's there at the top, he wasn't quite ready yet for it. Could a heel turn be something that propels him like Edge? To me, like, I've always seen Edge when I think of Hangman.
That feels like a legitimate passing of the torch type situation with him and Hangman.
I got one kind of out the blue, but Penta Zero.
Yeah, Penta. That's an interesting one. Edge would probably tap into his like Brood-like character to try to match the aesthetics of Penta.
And just like the violence part, you know what I'm saying? Like them snapping each other's arms and shit and all that shit. Look, I don't know why that, but that was like literally one of the first ones that came to my mind. Like, you know what? It's kind of fucking out there. But
yeah, the arm break compared to like the concussion concerto spot. Yep. Edge is gonna have to hit a Canadian Destroyer at some point.
Something.
Yeah.
Then I got Malachi Black.
Yeah, that's another one you can have. There's a lot of interesting things to chew on there. Like they were both the former WWE guys. They have the former dark characters. Their in-ring style is probably very complimentary of each other too.
And then you can get Edge, Christian, and fucking Gay Soros versus the House of Black.
Oh man, wait. Edge and Christian. Oh, and get Luchasaurus with him because you think Luchasaurus will still ride with Christian even after his inevitable, I'm assuming, face turn. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. No, it'd be fun. Yeah, there's a lot of cool matches. Of course, there's a lot of tag team matches that could be done too, assuming he's with Christian at the time. They could obviously. You got the Hardys that come to mind. There's another spot that I'm reserving to talk more in depth about that.
Sure.
Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of dream matches with older talents and up and coming talents. That should be a lot of fun. Let's see here. Number 7. 7. Recreate the Judgment Day. So, like, Edge inadvertently helped create probably the most popular faction in pro wrestling at the moment.
Probably it is.
Yeah, and the thing is WWE, I guess at the time, were going to take it creatively in, like, I guess a very supernatural direction is kind of what they were leaning towards. And Edge said that's not really what his vision was in creating the faction. Of course, the Judgment Day's popularity was kind of like a roller coaster for a bit because they started out really cool. Then they kind of turned into like just some dorks. And then now they, all of them, all characters in Judgment Day, super distinctive, fantastic. Do that again. Like, let Edge go ahead. Edge not only has been part of great tag teams, singles wrestling, he's also been involved with some good factions. And I would love to see him take up that leader spot just like he was supposed to do with Judgment Day, and find a bunch of misfits in AEW that he can pull something out of, character-wise, to make them more interesting on screen. Julia Hart, who's with House of Black, she might be a de facto. Leave them for Edge. You might be able to do something with Darby Allin when his time runs to an end with Sting, and he needs another mentor. There's a whole bunch of people, I think, that would be a lot of fun.
I like to start the Don Callis family starting out, like the people that they have right now.
Yeah. So Edge,
and and House of Black.
Mm-hmm. No, man, Edge, I think creating his own faction in AEW, I think could be a lot of fun. It's just a matter of like how much time he's got.
Right.
Let's see. Number 6. 6. Stay injury-free and wrestle part-time. It was recently revealed at the media scrum Edge is on a full-time contract, which I think is really cool. However, as we saw with CM Punk, as these guys age, wrestling AEW style and on a weekly basis, the odds for injury just seems to go pretty high. Edge himself got a torn triceps in with one of probably the safest wrestlers in the industry, being Randy Orton. Unfortunately, that was during a reshoot too. It wasn't even in front of fans. You know,
I don't think he'll wrestle every week. I think he'll be on TV every week, but I don't think he'll wrestle every week.
I hope so too, and I kind of feel that way. Right. But we just want to see Edge stay healthy. Let's get the most out of this run. I do feel like with WWE, a lot of the time Edge was there, we were robbed of that because unfortunately he was recovering from injury and other factors that we didn't get. Like, although Edge did really well in this latest run with WWE, it does feel like there was more to be had. Unfortunately,
he was injured more than he was on TV.
Yeah, so that's kind of like my thing is let's just play it safe this time, and so that we can get the most out of this run. Yeah. Number 5. Mix it up with the Elite and AEW Originals. RN, tell me you wouldn't at least tune in to Being the Elite one time to see Edge and Christian cutting up on there with the Young Bucks. I think it would be hilarious.
Yeah, I think I've said this from the beginning that Being the Elite should be a segment on fucking Dynamite or Rampage Sunday, because that's the only reason why. Like, if I had it somewhere more accessible and I knew when it was coming on, I would watch it. Because in the early days, I did watch it when it was like in between, when it wasn't really AEW yet, and they were in between like Ring of Honor and New Japan and all that. Like, that's where my love for the Bucks came from. But no, I would definitely watch it. Like I said, I think it's something that they should advertise more, especially if you get Edge in those. Yeah,
and so not just like the off-screen extracurricular stuff. Of course, I mean in the ring too. Right. AEW has shown they are not shy of bringing legends in, even for a single match. Who knows? Maybe reunite the Brood for one match to go against the Elite or something. Get Gangrel in for like a single match or something. We mentioned earlier the idea of Hangman Page and Edge mixing it up and the passing of the torch. I think there's a lot to be gained mixing Edge, who in large part is like a WWE guy, and seeing what him and the antithesis for AEW being the Elite can create together. And we can finally see what happens when you merge people who are very, very much pro WWE and pro AEW. What can they create in the middle? And I feel like we can see that with Edge and the Elite. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun to be had. All right. What number are we on? 4? I think 4.
Mm-hmm. 4 or 5.
4. All right, this is for me. This is Join the Broken Universe. Look, man.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. Play with those, once again, play with that Brood character a bit. That zany side. Edge, if there was one knock against him in WWE this last run, some of those promos were a little leaning on the zany side of things, but also being trying to take it serious. Right. What if we could get Edge in a situation where he can be as zany as he wants and be in on the joke? And I think that would just also be a fantastic take of all of this. Not to mention,
you have to take advantage of all Edge's sides, and that includes the comedy side.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Not to mention, it's working with the Hardys, because you got to assume Christian's going to get in there, Brother Nero's going to get in there. Also, with it being pre-taped, ideally it could be safer. We could have a highly elevated program potentially with a low physical risk factor, which, let's face it, all parties involved need to take as few physical risks as they can. So I think that'd actually be a fun idea, man. Is put him in the Broken Universe.
I'm into it.
Sweet deal. All right. Number 3. Become the face of Collision. So whether this is Collision or Dynamite, I feel like one of the things that we're missing over on Collision is that you had CM Punk on there, and it had its own distinct feel and vibe. And I know a lot of that was, CM Punk was adding towards creative towards it, and I don't know necessarily if that's what Edge is into, is trying to get involved in things creatively like that. But having a big face like that wouldn't hurt on your brand, give people a reason to tune in. If you knew that Edge was doing all of these cool things that we're presenting to you, and the only place to see him was on AEW Collision, that's a pretty good reason to tune in my opinion. And it might go ahead and give it that distinct identity, opposed to just being the matches that weren't good enough to make it onto Dynamite, which was honestly what Rampage was relegated to. So
I don't think that will work with Edge. He's too big to be confined to one show. Like,
to just Saturdays.
His name recognition is too much. You have to use him on both. Like, that's a good idea in theory, but like, you don't sign a guy like Edge to pigeonhole him into one fucking show.
Also, probably the show with weaker ratings.
Exactly.
No.
Which is what I said. Just want to point that out. I told you that was going to happen after the initial effects of it being a new show coming out was over, that nobody was going to watch that show at 8 o'clock on a Saturday.
Yeah, I was just getting into it. I'm not going to lie. That is like the one negative repercussion to them letting go of CM Punk, was he was my reason for tuning into Collision. I'm not going to lie. Like, I wanted to go back and watch Collision if I didn't catch it live.
I'll go back and watch it because to me, it's the best show they have. Like, the presentation of it, it doesn't look, at the time, maybe not so much now. I haven't watched it in a couple weeks. I gotta go back and catch up. But like, the presentation of it did not look like that indie shit you get on Dynamite. It looked like a produced, well run, well directed, well set up show. The pyro, the video packages, everything, like, it didn't look like, it looked like a show for the number 2 promotion in the world. It didn't, like, to me, like, Dynamite is a fucking weekly indie show, and even Edge said it. Feels like being in the indies again, because it is an indie.
Yeah. So either way, take advantage of Edge's star power, and listen, make him the face of Collision, make him the face of Dynamite, put him on both, but make that a reason why people tune in. And I feel like that's what we're doing with the announcement of the full-time contract. All right, number two. Appear in New Japan Impact GCW. Essentially, just a couple surprise appearances outside of AEW. I feel like that would spark some interest and some more cross-promotional work.
Closer to Forbidden Door again next year, it's going to happen, for sure.
Yeah. Could you imagine Edge showing up for maybe like the G1 or even just like a one-off match in New Japan?
Edge versus Ospreay, like I said.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Time to return some of those favors for the New Japan wrestlers coming over for the Forbidden Door. Start sending people over to New Japan shows that are actually going to bring eyes, because you don't want just the crossover stars that, you don't want the typical. There's the bulk of AEW is people you would expect to see in NJPW. Edge is not one of those guys you'd ever think you'd see in New Japan. If you tell me Edge is going to appear in Wrestle Kingdom, I will be one of those people that is up at like 3 a.m. watching that match take place live, because it'll be phenomenal to just see that, him in the Tokyo Dome. You can also see the cross-promotional stuff. Maybe he goes to Impact. Maybe he does something with Matt Cardona in GCW. It'd be something, once again, it'd be kind of neat just to see Edge everywhere in these places we wouldn't actually expect to see him.
Facts.
Yeah. And then, which takes us to our number one, the final TLC match. You fantasy book this however you want, but the final TLC match with the Hardys, the Dudleys. I know it's crazy to think of a match where all 6 competitors officially retire at the same time. Odds probably aren't the best. However,
fucking Bubba's in better shape than all of these fucking people combined.
No, I know. However, this is my number one pick. This is because of yours truly growing up right around that Attitude Era. I saw the TLC match in conception with Mick Foley announcing it on Monday Night Raw. This is the antithesis of what people think to when they remember the Hardys, when they remember the Dudleys and Edge and Christian.
Wrestling or non-wrestling fans.
Yeah, they think of these 6 men mixing it up in crazy stipulation matches. To this day, you don't really see people, wrestlers nowadays, with that identifiable match type stipulation associated with them. You know what I mean? Like the Hardys. The Hardys were always associated with the ladder matches. Edge and Christian with chairs doing the concertos. Obviously, the Dudleys with table matches. There aren't really people that are synonymous with match types anymore, other than Jon Moxley with various method of death matches. But even then, it's not even close to what people expected from these 6 guys. So whether you do it as like a retirement match for all the men, or you just knock one out, obviously do it as safe as possible.
I don't think Evon's ever going to be a part of this. He's been retired and done. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it'll be, your safe bet will be Edge and Christian, the Hardys, and the Bucks, and FTR.
Yeah, maybe.
Swap out any one of those teams for those 2.
But yeah, we got to get. I don't know if yeah, I'm pretty sure WWE owns the rights to Table's the TLC match, but we got to get that last big car crash match. We could do it as safe as possible. Maybe each team brings in a third member.
WLC.
Yeah, the WLC. Maybe they all bring in like a third member that's part of like that next generation of wrestlers in AEW, and then they can take the big bumps. It's Sammy Guevara getting speared off of the hanging belt from the ladder from, I don't know, Hangman. But as much as I just said we don't want to see anybody get injured and to play it safe, we got to see this at least once. I'm sure these guys could find a way to make it happen while still playing it safe.
I don't agree with you. I think this is death move, but I wouldn't mind seeing some old men go through some tables.
Yeah, you can go through a table pretty safely.
Yeah.
Let's be fair. You know, the chair shots, that can be done safe. The ladder is where it gets, a little dicey here.
I'd much rather go off the ladder through 2 tables than off the ladder bare floor.
Yeah.
So, I'm into it.
Oh, man. But yeah, so that's our top 10 of things that you think Edge should do. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure once again you can tune into the show live on Twitch or hang out with us here. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun time seeing Edge in AEW.
Time to be alive.
Yeah, man, it's pretty. It's once again, it's pretty neat. But yeah, that's our show. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Check us next time over next Tuesday. We'll see you guys then.
See y'all next week.
And then I'm